In today's video, I am going to break down how Kyrie Irving is able to use the screen to his advantage. If you are a guard or a player who calls for a lot of screens, this is definitely the video that you're going to want to watch. Let's get down and let's check out Kyrie Irving. Okay, so first we're going to have Big Jordan setting a massive screen for Kyrie Irving. Now, if you have a player who is massive and very good at the screen and roll, this is definitely something that you're going to want to watch. So first we have DeAndre Jordan setting that screen. Now, number one, he is a massive dude, and the dude can jump. He is one of the best screen and roll players in the NBA. I really don't know why Steve Nash is not utilizing that a lot more. Maybe because a lot of teams are basically defending against it. But what we have here is after that screen and roll, we have Kyrie Irving attacking hard. This is important. You want to attack hard after the screen and roll, especially if that screening defender or the screener's defender is sagging off as he is here. He's not hedging. Now, if you've got a really good center and you're going to have maybe a couple of teams that hedge hard, hedging means that this defender pops out to stop the guard's forward momentum or progression. That's when you've got your big man all alone. And we all know DeAndre Jordan really makes teams hurt when they hedge on him because, of course, he just throws down massive dunks. So if you've got a team that is afraid of your screen and roll with your big man, what you can do is attack hard. And you really want to attack hard because now you've got the angles and everything on your main defender. You don't have a big man who's popping out to defend you because they're afraid of him getting that ball. So what you can do is just a quick running floater, and then make sure to go up with your left hand because, of course, if you go up with your right hand, it's going to then be blocked. Maybe a foul, but blocked most likely. But what we do see Kyrie Irving doing here is go up with his right at first, try to get contact, and then finish with his left. Now, that is one option, but what do we see here? After the screen, he takes one dribble. Then he takes a second dribble, and that's his last dribble, right at the free throw, before the free throw line. That's what you want to do. Your last two steps need to be fast, but also big, and the less dribbles possible, the better. So now this next screen, I'm going to really break down how you can put a player in jail. And I don't mean jail as in the thing with bars and all the police stuff. I'm talking about putting him in jail because he is going to foul you. So for one, do a quick killer crossover in towards your screening player. That is going to get your defender to fight through that screen. And now, because you did that killer crossover, you've already crossovered the ball back. Now, what's happened? Well, now it's going to be 2-on-1. If this rolling player doesn't take a wide enough stance and this player is quick enough to defend you, then what's going to happen is, of course, you're not going to be able to beat this player. He's creating so much space between you and him. So what you can do is put your defender in jail. He's behind you, stick him behind you. Make sure he stays behind you. And how does he do that? He takes a step right in front of that defender's path. Now, there's only two things this defender can do. He can stop and allow you to rise up for your shot, or he can foul you. Those are the only two options he has. And he is, of course, potentially fouled. It looks like he got fouled there on the arm because he tried to reach around. But if you can put a player in jail by getting him stuck behind you, you can rise up for a shot, and you really do not need to worry about getting fouled, because if he reaches over you, over top, that's a foul in most cases if you make contact, and in most cases, that defender will make contact. So if you can bring that ball a bit farther out front, a little bit more in front of your head, and then take that shot, you're going to be very, very, very deadly as a guard. This is what I mean by hedging. So after this screen, we had Wiseman step out just a bit too far. Now, what should have happened, because Dinwiddie is still a good three-point shooter, but I am not as worried about that as I am about this. So what should have happened is he should have stayed home on DeAndre Jordan. Wiggins should have cut off that drive. Curry needs to stay there because he's a deadly shooter. So that's what should have happened. But instead, the rookie hedged, which then allows DeAndre Jordan to put through a massive, what could have been a massive dunk. Now in this next play, what we have is another screen by Jordan, but instead what we see is Kyrie Irving is keeping his head up. This is something that you really need to do as a player who's using a screen, because when you've got your head up, of course, you are now able to scan your surroundings. You can see what's happening. And when that happens, you're able to see what your defender is doing. You're able to see what his defender is doing. You're able to see potential players who are open, and you're also able to see who's looking at you. And in that case, you now have multiple options coming to you. So of course, he could attack, which is what he does, and he finishes. This is the same clip as what we showed at the beginning, but what we do see is all these players are watching the ball, especially Steph Curry. What does that mean? Well, if Steph Curry was watching the ball and he was just a bit higher, what could have happened is we would now see the defender lift up from the baseline, and now if we have a player, which we do have a player on this side, what we do have the option for, if he keeps his head up and reads the defender, is if this player over here reads the defender and cuts baseline, he could send up an alley-oop to that player, and Steph Curry had nothing else better to do or the ability to stop that. So again, reading the defense is extremely important. I hope that this video has helped you run the screen and roll much better. If it has, hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you guys again next time.